What's up, dudes and dudettes of the internet? My name's Scythe, and today we're gonna be taking a look at my new mod pack, which is an Overwatch mod pack. You already saw the title, so you know what you're in store for. And hi, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope this video makes that day of yours even better. And yeah, I'm stoked about Overwatch. If you don't know what that is, although most people certainly do, it's pretty much a game that's like Team Fortress, but better in almost every aspect. At least in my opinion. It's coming out soon, and because of it, I've been really hyped about it, and so I wanted to make a mod pack for the Trove characters to all end up being characters from Overwatch. Now, I don't have all of the characters from Overwatch, just certain ones that kind of made sense to me, because there's more characters in Overwatch than there is in Trove. So anyway, for the Knight, I have replaced Bastion, which is just the level 10 costume. The level 10 costume is the one costume that's changed for all the characters, and then the helmet for the Knight is gonna be the Starlight Dragon Crown. The whole mod pack in general replaces the costume for all of the characters, the level 10 costume, all the Dragon Crowns, and the Shadow, just because I needed an extra helmet. So next is the Pirate Captain, which he is Torbjorn, the dwarf character. It just made the most sense to me because he throws down turrets and stuff, and I think he turned out pretty okay. I do want to point out that I actually didn't change any of this stuff. Like, I didn't change the combat like character models and stuff like that, so I didn't change his turret into the one that you see in Overwatch and stuff like that, and I may do that somewhere in the future, but in all honesty, I was kind of just rushing to get these mods out and done, rather than dragging it out and clicking my heels and going, yeah, well, this is never gonna get finished. So I'm pretty happy with how they all turned out. You know, he's okay, you kind of know what he is, but at the same time, Ice Age, of course, is May, or at least the closest to May that I could get anyways, because how do you end up making a big old puffy girl like her, you know, because of all the winter attire that she's wearing, into the Ice Age, which in general is a very skinny character model in this game. So I ended up beefing her out a little bit, and I actually really like how the stuff around her head ended up turning out, like the parts of her coat. I actually think that's kind of cool. And on her back, you can barely see it, but that's actually like the little droid that May actually has on her back too. So it turned out. And also, if you're wondering too about all the different haircuts and stuff like that, I'm just rocking different haircuts that are already in the game because I don't know how to mod the haircuts anyway, so GG. Shadowhunter, which of course is my main, so unfortunately the VFX are kind of getting in the way, but he's Hanzo. He went through quite a few changes just from the initial original version of the mod. Like the original version, his shoulder was too fat and stuff like that, but you can download them all right now, and they're pretty good. Like, it's pretty much the last version that I'm gonna have is just version 2, just because I needed to slightly change a couple things. I'm noticing that his skin color of his suit doesn't really suit like the costume skin doesn't really fit with this head skin, but I don't really know what the proper skin color is for like a pixel character anyway, so who cares. But either way, I like it. Normally he actually in Overwatch has a yellow scarf, but it was throwing me off. It looked too weird in Trove, so I just changed it to a traditional oriental red. Then for the Fake Trickster, we've got Farah the Valkyrie, and I'm pretty happy with this one. You know, the skirt might be a little bit too plain for some people, but I like how it turned out. I think the rest of it ended up working out. I'm really happy with how the helmet ended up turning out. It might end up feeling like it's a bit of a long helmet, like the overstructure part of it, but that's kind of how the helmet is in the game anyways, so I'm happy with how it turned out. Then, of course, for the Candy Barb, this was the first one that I threw together, and I knew that I kind of had something as soon as I threw this together, and like, this guy was like the easiest one out of them all. Of course, he is Roadhog because it's the only one that made sense to me. Now, I know what you're thinking. Candy Barb may have been able to fit into a different character a little bit better, but with his new #1 ability, when you get his class gem, he pulls enemies in. So I thought that it would be more appropriate for the Candy Barb. This biome's open. Whoops. I thought it would be more appropriate for the guy that pulls in Overwatch to be the guy that pulls in Trove. And then this is just some weird standard swords. They're just the closest I could find to hooks. I don't know. And then the gas mask was just normal. Neon Ninja, no surprise there. It's Genji. which Neon Ninja is very difficult to deal with. If anybody watching this is a modder, you know what I'm talking about, because the Neon Ninja is such a simplistic character, like he doesn't have a very complicated skeleton, so there's not really that much you have to work with. So I had to kind of like, it was really, really tricky to end up working him out and stuff like that. But I'm happy with how it worked out, and you know, the helmet and stuff like that. Not sure if you would instantly recognize him as Genji per se, but with the entirety of the mod, then yeah, you see it easy. And Gunslinger, which is one of my favorite, I'm really happy with how he turned out as Reaper. Unfortunately, I couldn't really... I was trying to see if I could get the Gunslinger's cape to go down to his waist and kind of flow behind him like Reaper's coat, but it didn't really work out. I don't even know how he joined me. I'm appearing offline, but whatever, I might have to go somewhere else. But either way, I'm very happy with how he turned out. I put all the potions around him and stuff like that. All right, there, I think I tricked everyone. But either way, he ended up turning out pretty cool. The Dracolite, which might not make sense to some people, but it did to me, is, of course, Diva. I changed the dragon's color, but again, I didn't really, like, I wasn't really going too hardcore for changing, like, the side stuff, you know, like the little allies and junk like that, because I don't really know what I would put for Diva's ally anyway. But her costume right here doesn't really shine too much, and taking away the skirt on the Draconis in general doesn't really work that much. Maybe I should change the feet a little bit so it's not as bulky, but where it does shine, if I do say so, is with her ultimate, which is absolutely beautiful. I love it myself. I wish there was a way that I could make the weapon disappear, but unfortunately it just kind of has to float there. In general, I'm really, really happy with how this one turned out. I kind of was worried I was gonna have a little bit of a hard time with it, but especially when you're on mounts and stuff like that, like it just looks hilarious to me, you know? So hopefully everybody's really gonna like that. Then for the Boomeranger, honestly, I couldn't really think of any other character to make the Boomeranger other than Zarya, who's like the female butch, like buff tank chick. So it works, you know. It's not really flashy as far as Trove is concerned, because the costume that she actually wears in the game is kind of just... In a voxel costume, it's kind of just a blue costume, so it's a little bit tricky, you know, but overall, I'm still happy with how it ended up turning out. Let me actually turn names off just so these guys can at least get out of my way a little bit. I don't know why everybody, like, I always find it really strange when people join me and then they hug me. Like, it's really, really weird, you know? Oh, good, we ended up going bald anyways. But that's the Boomeranger, not too flashy, but it still works. Tomb Raider I'm actually really excited about. He was very tricky to do, but Zenyatta. I'm really, really happy with how this guy turned out, because I think if there's any character that looks like the character from Overwatch, it's this guy. So I just ended up changing one of the strings that's normally hanging on his back. I changed into all of the orbs, so they kind of move a little bit as you move, and they kind of surround your head a little bit, but hey, whatever, that's okay. And in general, it was tricky making him just because the Tomb Raider doesn't have any legs. I'm trying to do stuff, brah. But I'm very, very happy with how he turns out. I really liked it. I could change the skeletal minions into like little orbs or something like that, but honestly, I don't really care. It's not really that big of a deal. And then, of course, the helmet is just the... oh, this guy's the Shadow, while all the other characters are using all of the other... Dragon Crown helmets. So for the Revenant, we actually have... See what I mean? I don't know why people hug me. For the Revenant, we have Reinhardt, which makes total sense, doesn't it? Because he's the big shield guy. Get out of build mode. And I'm really, really happy with how he turned out. I really like it. Like, I was a little bit worried because of the amount of gray that we actually have on this character, but I'm really happy with how he turned out. I really like it. His shield being see-through too, which... Little bit of a graphical issue with Trove is if we had somebody else, like another player standing beside us, you actually can't see transparent blocks on costumes for other characters. This has always been apparent, and unfortunately it takes the coolness factor from Reinhardt down quite a bit when you see another player around with the shield and it doesn't have this see-through glass effect, so it doesn't have like the energy shield part of it. But either way, I'm very happy with how he turned out, and even from the back, like, he feels very, very tanky. even more so than the normal Revenant costumes, at least for myself personally. Then for the Lunar Lancer, the only one I could think of is Winston right here, and I'm quite happy with how he turned out. Probably still have to tweak up a couple things with his Stormtrooper mode, I'm sure, but for the most part, like, the only thing that ends up changing when he goes into Stormtrooper is I made it so that his glasses come off, and he's kind of got a bit more of an angry face, so that's pretty much all there is to it. But unfortunately, because I can't transform into lunacy mode anytime I want, I can't really test and see the dimensions of the character and stuff. So that's okay, because I just kind of copy and pasted what I have here and then made it slightly bigger for the 8 mode. I didn't go too hardcore. Excuse me, everybody. I'm still sicky poo. And then for the Chloromancer, we have Mercy, and I'm really happy with how she turned out too. I think that she very much looks like the character from Overwatch. The wings are kind of similar to what I ended up doing with my Dragon Kigurumi costume. Now, technically, I could move the wings in a little bit closer to her body, but I'm not too worried about that because I think it still looks okay. You know, it still ends up working out. I might end up changing something like that in the future. I don't know, but it's not too, like, I'm not too picky about it. And in general, I just really like how all the classes ended up turning out. And it oddly gets me very, very stoked to play on some of the characters that I wouldn't normally. Like, I love the Tomb Raider, don't get me wrong, but now that he looks like Zenyatta, I like him even more. You know, it just makes me really excited about it. So yeah, links are in the description for absolutely everything, everybody. So you can always check that out, download the mods and everything like that. Of course, there is links to all of my other mods that you can check out. But otherwise, that's it for the Overwatch ones. Overwatch comes out in a couple days, and yes, most definitely, I'm going to be starting a series of that on the channel. So hopefully you're all going to be as into that as I am. And even if you aren't, here's some stuff from me with love, you know, a nice little mod pack, just to get hyped for the game. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you did enjoy the video, I would very much appreciate it to you duking the like button, share favorite, and subscribe to join Team Pixel. Sign on, stay epic, everybody.